Let's pick up on a couple of things you was mentioning. Conor Gallagher, this is someone you would know well, Jody. What year did you join Chelsea's youth setup? Was it 2014?
Yeah, it was. 2013, actually.
2013,
yeah.
Sorry. My apologies.
But yeah, I've worked with Conor since he was an under-16, all the way through until he sort of was leaving and going on his first loan. So I think he's a top young player. Someone who, his mentality and his character and personality is part of the reason why he's improved so much. There were certain periods in his early Chelsea career, if you like, when he was 16, 17, and maybe there was people that were slightly ahead of him in the pecking order in his own year and the year above him. But when you have his desire and his willingness to learn and improve, it's no surprise to see him where he's at, and off the back of 2 outstanding seasons, albeit 3 teams on loan. I think he proved last year that he's more than capable in the Premier League, and I think if you look at a lot of people's teams of the year last year, he would have made quite a few people's first 11. So I think he's right to be back at Chelsea, but only if he's going to be getting the game. So today's a good start.
I was going to say, is there parallels between him and Frank Lampard, i.e. attitude towards training and working and improving? Because Frank had to work hard to get where he was. And also as a player, I looked at Gallagher when he was at West Brom, for example. I thought there were some real similarities there, how he got into the box.
He's one that just is relentless at arriving, wants to score goals, but also is, I mean, if you speak to him and say, oh yeah, you always get in the box and can we play you in the 10, he'll then have the right arm, because he wants to be defending, he wants to be blocking, he's all action, he wants to be involved in the game, he wants to be getting on the ball, and I think his game suits that type of model. But you're right, he is relentless as far as he wants to arrive, a bit like Mason does as well.
It's an interesting situation at Chelsea because they do loan out so many players.
And sell now as well, surprisingly so.
In some respects, it's a little bit of a business. But he went to Charlton, he done fantastically well, and obviously at Palace last year. How are these young players at such a big club get the opportunity to play? They've got to go out on loan, and I think it's vital that the Premier League club pick the clubs they want their players to go to, know what sort of football they play, and so that the player don't go there and doesn't end up coming back, having the right atmosphere and coming back worse than when he went. Chelsea are the most successful club doing their loans. It's really good what they do.
Yeah, just about every club now has a loans manager, don't they, within the club, and sometimes it's more than one person because they do have so many players out on loan.
They've also sold some. I'm sure some of the ones you saw coming through, you wish they'd stayed as well in many ways.
Yeah, I did. I was surprised at some of the permanent deals that went on, as far as you look at Tomori, Gurhi, who was obviously at Palace with Conor himself last year.
And in England set up now as well.
Yeah, Tammy Abraham. They're all guys that I think, if you're looking at the Chelsea team now and the makeup of it, would you take all 3 of them at the Probably. Tammy would certainly be.
I know they're a little bit older, but you'll take Salah and De Bruyne.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, there is an element of, obviously you can't hindsight United is the best team that's ever played, isn't it? But at the same time, I think when they're young and they're coming through the ranks, I think Alan's spot on. They need to be given an opportunity. If they've gone and proved it by going out on loan, I'm all for that when they're young. I'm just maybe not for the people that are being bought and then sent out on loan, and they've spent massive on wages, massive on recruiting them, and then they're just never going to play for the club.
Yeah.
It's different when you've come through the ranks and it's being used as a tool to either improve the player, raise the value, or for him to be ready in a lot of the circumstances like your Mason Mounts, Reece Jameses, Conor Gallagher's, is so they can come back and play in the first team.
Yeah. I remember we did a match Stamford Bridge last season. I think it was Mason Mount, came straight over to you, didn't he?
Yeah, well, as I said, I don't just like the lads because they're good footballers. There's a lot of them there that everyone I've spoke about are real top young men now as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guys will tell you, when you work with younger players and you see them not only develop as a player but develop as a person and turn out to be good blokes, basically, it's just as pleasing as seeing him as improve as much as they do on the pitch.